Let's get started with these 10 important English phrases for fluency. All of these phrases were used in the conversation from my previous lesson with my husband Dan, where we were having a real conversation. These are phrases we actually used. Let's start with the first one. The first phrase is to go with your gut. Let's see how it was originally used in the conversation, and then we'll break it down together. Let's watch. So all of these questions have to do with cutting out something from your life, and could you do it? So I'm gonna ask you my first question, and I want you to just go with your gut and tell me what you think. Okay. Number one, in this clip, I asked Dan to just go with your gut and tell me what you think. Do you know what the word gut means? Your gut is like your insides, your stomach, your intestines, but we use this more figuratively to talk about just trying to trust your instincts. Go with your gut. Go with your gut. Go with what is true in your heart, those instincts. Don't think about it too much. Just go with your gut. So you could also say, when you're choosing a new job, sometimes it's best to just go with your gut instead of overthinking it. Trust yourself. Trust your instincts. All right, part of the conversation breakdown method is that we see how it was originally used. We break it down together, which is what we just did, and then we look at the clip again. And I want you to see if you can understand the overall context and the specific phrase a little bit better than at the beginning. Let's watch. So all of these questions have to do with cutting out something from your life, and could you do it? So I'm gonna ask you my first question, and I want you to just go with your gut and tell me what you think. Okay. Number one, important phrase for English fluency. Number two is I'm on a mission. Let's see how this was originally used in the conversation, and then we'll break it down together.
Doesn't really matter that much. And I'd probably, if I were to do this, I would be like, I'm not using my smartphone for a month. I'm on a mission, and look at me, this is great.
In the conversation, we said, I'm not using my smartphone for a month. I'm on a mission. You can get the sense that there is determination, motivation. When you have a mission, it is a very important goal. It's almost a value or a moral that's included in this. I have a mission. I will not use a smartphone for an entire month. Now, if you just said, hey, Vanessa, don't use a smartphone for a month, I might not do it. I probably won't do it. But if I had a mission, I'm going to try to free my mind from technology, free my spirit from being tied down to apps and technology. Okay, here I have a mission. I am motivated by this almost external goal that's going to help me become a better person, hopefully. Let me give you another example. I know a lot of people have the life goal of writing a book. So if this is you, you might say, I'm on a mission to finish my first book by the end of 2026. Ooh. This means there is this bigger external motivation, determination that's helping you to accomplish your goal. I'm on a mission. All right, let's see how this was originally used again, and I want you to listen for that key phrase.
Doesn't really matter that much. And I'd probably, if I were to do this, I would be like, I'm not using my smartphone for a month. I'm on a mission, and look at me, this is great.
Our third important English phrase for fluency is no way. You're gonna see this used really strongly. Let's see how it was used in the original conversation. Could you live, dun dun dun, without coffee or tea for the rest of your life?
No! No way.
Okay.
Yeah, I need something to pick me up in the morning.
Okay. In this clip, you heard us say, could you live without coffee or tea for the rest of your life? And what's the answer? No. No way. There's no hesitation. There's no uncertainty. There is determination. I will absolutely not be happy living without that for the rest of my life. No way. So if you strongly disagree with something, this is an excellent phrase to use. Let's say that your husband says, hey, do you think we should clean out this entire closet today? And then you look outside, it's a beautiful sunny day. And what's your reply? No way. I want to go outside and enjoy this beautiful weather. Now, if you're anything like me, if it is a rainy day, if it is terrible weather outside, I would say, Yeah, let's do it. But if it's a beautiful day, this is the perfect way to respond. No way, I'm gonna go outside. Come with me. All right, let's see how this was originally used in the original context. Could you live, dun dun dun, without coffee or tea for the rest of your life?
No! No way.
Okay.
Yeah, I need something to pick me up in the morning.
Okay. So what do you think of this conversation breakdown method? I hope that it is interesting and useful to you. Let's get back to our fourth everyday English phrase that you can use to boost your English fluency. The fourth phrase is to hit the spot. Let's see how this was used in the original conversation. I love fruit, like fresh fruit, watermelon, like those types of things. And that always hits the spot for me. Like if I'm hungry, an apple with peanut butter, perfect. In this clip, I was talking about how much I love fresh fruit, and it always hits the spot for me. Here, this is talking about being satisfying. When you're having a really, really cold day, like maybe you are now in January, when you come inside and you have a hot cup of tea, oh, that hits the spot. Or if it's a super sunny, really hot, maybe blisteringly hot summer day, and you come inside and you have an ice cold tea, that hits the spot. Can you tell I like tea? That hits the spot. That satisfies exactly what you need. So let's see how this was used again in the original conversation, and I hope that you can use this as well when something is exactly satisfying. I hope that this lesson hits the spot for you. Let's watch. I love fruit, like fresh fruit, watermelon, like those types of things, and that always hits the spot for me. Like if I'm hungry, an apple with peanut butter, perfect. Important expression number 5 for boosting your English fluency is a very fun one, and it is stuck in the Stone Age. Do you know what the Stone Age is? I imagine you can imagine what that is. That was a long time ago when humans didn't have metal, they didn't have any modern technology, they only had stones to use. The Stone Age. Now maybe the people who actually lived during the Stone Age were quite happy with their quality of life, but when we use this phrase in the modern world, we're talking about living with these outdated methods of technology. So if you had to go for a month or a lifetime without certain modern technologies, like using a smartphone or using Google Maps, Apple Maps, we might say, why aren't you using that? Are you stuck in the Stone Age? Maybe you're happier like that. I don't know. I'll give you a quick example of another time that I used this in my personal life. A while ago, many years ago, actually maybe 8 years ago, I was renting an apartment and we couldn't pay the rent over the internet. There was no way to digitally do that, so I had to write a check and mail it using the postal service to the company every single month. And I thought, man, are they stuck in the Stone Age or what? That's very unusual in the US. Usually you can pay online, you can have some kind of digital transfer so that you can pay your bills. But in that instance, I could not pay my rent in that way. I had to pay with a physical check and send it in the mail every month. All right, let's see how this was used in the original conversation to be stuck in the Stone Age. You have no way to turn on a light.
That's just annoying. Your neighbors have like a light on too.
Everyone else is living the good life and you're stuck in the Stone Age. The sixth expression to help boost your English fluency is a very funny one. It made me laugh a lot during the original conversation with Dan, and that is to be stuck in the doghouse. Let's see how it was originally used, and then I'll break it down for you. Let's watch.
And then if I had a good excuse, like I could tell my neighbors, I'm sorry, I just can't turn on my lights. I have this curse or whatever it is. And so
my wife cursed me with no
my wife cursed
lights.
me and I can't use electricity. I'm in the doghouse real bad this time. In fact, I live in a doghouse.
In this clip, you heard Dan say, my wife cursed me and I can't use electricity. I'm in the doghouse for real this time. Well, this phrase, to be in the doghouse, is most often used when a husband says that their wife is so angry at them that the husband has to go live outside in the doghouse. If you can imagine where Snoopy lives, if the wife is so angry she doesn't allow her husband to sleep in the house, he has to go sleep with the dog. Well, in the conversation, Dan kind of used this in a double meaning type of way. The doghouse, a real doghouse, usually does not have electricity. So Dan is living in a type of doghouse, but he's also joking and saying that it's because of me, I cursed him and he's not allowed to use electricity. So because I'm angry, he has to go live in the doghouse. Very funny. It made me laugh a lot in the conversation, and I hope that you can use this phrase as well. And I hope you never get in the doghouse. All right, let's see how this was used again in the original conversation. And now maybe you can understand it and this kind of double meaning a little bit better. Let's watch.
And then if I had a good excuse, like I could tell my neighbors, I'm sorry, I just can't turn on my lights. I have this curse or whatever it is. And so
my wife cursed me with no
my wife
electric
cursed
lights.
me and I can't use electricity. I'm in the doghouse real bad this time. In fact, I live in a doghouse.
The seventh important expression for English fluency is to defeat the purpose. This is a lovely advanced expression that I hope that you can use yourself after this lesson. But first, let's watch and see how it was used in the original conversation.
It's actually the healthiest if you wake up early in the morning and you go to bed when it's dark at night. Seems kind of obvious, but what really prevents us from doing that is all these electronic lights all over the place. I guess I could still have my phone in this scenario, so that kind of defeats the purpose.
In the conversation, we were talking about living without electric lights and could we do it? Well, Dan said, but I can still have my phone and a computer, so it kind of defeats the purpose. All right, so the idea of this original question, could you live without electric lights, is talking about it being dark after the sun goes down. You have to really live with the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun. That has to guide your daily life. But he said, in this question, I probably still could have a phone and other light sources, like a phone or a computer or a TV. So it defeats the purpose of the question. The question is only effective if you really have no other light source, not just light bulbs. You need to have no phones, no light bulbs, no TV, no computer, nothing like this in order to truly live with the rising and the setting of the sun. And that's probably true. It defeats the purpose of this test if you have a phone with you. Let me give you another example. If you've ever had skin problems like acne or intense redness, maybe as an adult or as a teenager, you might have been tempted to cover it up with thick and heavy makeup. But probably, I'm not a professional, but probably what your skin needs is to breathe, to have the fresh air touching your skin. If it's covered with thick, heavy makeup, it's not going to clear up and feel better. So we might say wearing thick, heavy makeup on your damaged skin defeats the purpose of helping you get better. It's not going to help. It's just going to cover the problems. So here, what's the purpose? To have clearer skin. That's the goal, right? But wearing thick makeup defeats the purpose. It is killing the purpose. It's not helping the purpose. It's just temporarily covering it up. All right, let's see how this phrase, to defeat the purpose, was used in the original context. Let's watch.
It's actually the healthiest if you wake up early in the morning and you go to bed when it's dark at night. Seems kind of obvious, but what really prevents us from doing that is all these electronic lights all over the place. I guess I could still have my phone in this scenario, so that kind of defeats the purpose.